what the rich teach their kids about money that the poor and the middle class do not. That is, he says that the poor and middle class generally work for money. The rich have money work for them. It's not how much money you have what matters for you actually. It is how you try to manage your money or how much money you keep when you are in need of. This is what the study is all about. It teaches us how we are supposed to save for our future usage of financial requirements. So many a time we have heard of different types of stories. Like say, for example, if there is a lottery winner who is a poor person, but he wins a lottery, and with that, suddenly he becomes a rich person. And again, after some times, he may become poor. And there are evident stories that shows that there are certain businessmen who earn very well in terms of millions dollars, that is, but because of some mishappenings, they may come they may become the defaulters in few years later. The reasons for such kinds of influences or such kind of things that happens in the individual's life is because of lack of financial intelligence. So it is actually how much money makes you people to have or savings in your life, and how you are going to keep it up for the next generation passed by you, and also how you are supposed to safeguard yourself from the risk aspects of your life. All such things can be well understood by the financial literacy. So, this paper of financial planning helps you people to understand about the financial independency. Let us understand the meaning of the term financial planning. So, it is a process of financial planning and managing the money. Generally, it is to meet your personal life goals. Now, what are these personal life goals? Maybe every individual will have their own aspects in life, maybe to construct a house, or maybe to purchase a car, or maybe to go for a long term vacation, whatever it is. So, all such things can be our personal life goals, and we are in need of money to fulfill all such things. So, that is why to fulfill such needs or the dreams, whatever we are having, how we are supposed to save the finance part for uh, executing those plans, that can be learned by the financial planning. So it is the financial planning process, which is nothing but it is a process of setting, planning, achieving, and reviewing life goals through the proper management of financial fitness. So personal financial planning, we can consider it as a methodological approach whereby an individual maximizes the existing financial resources through the proper management of his finances to achieve his whatever the goals he has set. So financial planning is usually a important life skill which helps for us to plan for our future, to take for better decision relating to the financial aspects, and to have control over our goals by setting it in a realistic pattern. And also it helps us to achieve those things based on evaluation of alternatives and effective measurements what we are going to take. So there are different examples like how we are going to set the life goals. Those examples you can identify in the page number 3. Some examples like saving to buy an SUV car costing around 15 lakhs after 5 years. That is, today you are planning to purchase an SUV after 5 years. So that is one way of personal life goal. Second one, maybe if you are intending to purchase a house, maybe after 5 years or 10 years, whatever it is, but you have to purchase that with the accumulated money. Maybe you want to have or you want to purchase a house after 8 years, it may cost around 30 lakhs, and the remaining can be balanced with the loans. For that also you have to have a proper financial plan. And again, if the individuals are having their kids, again investing for education of kids also require money. Maybe after 10 years or 12 years, even that comes under your personal financial planning. So the importance of personal financing planning. can be understood by the following way. So, firstly, it increases the effectiveness in procurement, using and protecting the financial resources throughout our life. Secondly, it increases the control on financial matters by avoiding excessive debt, insolvency, dependence on others for economic securities. And thirdly, it gives us a sense of freedom from financial uncertainties obtained by looking into the future, anticipating expenses, and achieving the personal economic goals. It also improves the personal relationship resulting from the well planned and effectively communicated financial decisions. Now, let us look into this. The first one is increasing effectiveness in procurement. Increasing effectiveness in procurement is that how much you are earning, and if you are planned for your financial investments in future, what extra you are supposed to earn and how you can earn, you can safeguard whatever the resources, financial resources you are having. It is concerned with that. Secondly, it helps us to have a control over financial matters. It tries us to give the knowledge for overcoming the expenses. I mean, in cases if we are facing over expenses, that can be controlled to certain extent with the flexible or the variable investments what we are going to make. Then, without depending on any other individual for financial aspects, we can be have freedom. Then lastly, it helps us to have better personal relationship with others, since we won't go for any types of credits or loans with the known individuals. That safeguards us the personal relationship. There are certain steps in the process of personal financial planning. Now, so far, whatever I have covered, the meaning and definitions of personal financing planning and the importance of personal financial planning, that you may get for 5 marks in your examination. The process of personal financial planning will be for 10 marks or for 15 marks. Now, let us look into the various stages in personal financial planning process. There are usually 6 steps in the financial planning process. The first one is to know your current financial positions. Second one is to develop your financial goals. Third one, identifying the alternative course of action. Fourth one, evaluating alternatives. Fifth one is create and implement your financial action plans. Sixth one is reviewing or revising the financial plan, whatever you have made. Now, let us look into the first stage. That is, know your financial position. That is, know your current financial position. This indicates normally how much it is the understanding how much we are under and what is our net worth. Includes us identifying our liabilities. You are this is something concerned properties we are owning, maybe the savings, any type of property relating to the buildings, investments, etc. And the liability may be whatever the kinds of the loans, the tax bills, of debts, outstanding debts, whatever we are having. So the current worth or net worth of an individual by the value of assets minus the value of liabilities. You can have a difference between the assets and liabilities that shows our current credit worthiness or our financial strength. Second one, or the second stage of digital planning is concerned with developing our financial goals. Is developing financial goal is setting a financial goal. What we want to achieve financially, whether it is a or a long-term goal, it can be. So setting up of the goal should be in a smart way. Smart way, SMART, indicates that whatever the goal we specific in it should be of criteria, attainable, realistic, and time one. Say for example, some short term you want to achieve that short term goal. If that time period is crossed, maybe more than 2 years or 3 years or 5 years, in that time period you want to achieve something, that becomes your long-term goals. So by considering the net worth, whatever you have calculated in the first step, now you can realistically set your goal. Maybe in 1 year you want to purchase a vehicle, or maybe in 1 year or 2 years you want to purchase a house, whatever. It is depending on the individual worthness. Secondly, identifying the alternative course of, like we understood, the smart goals what you are supposed to. You can accomplish your goal by creating alternatives to them. So that fall into the different categories, like whatever you are earning with your existing resources, that you can reallocate, or generating the new ones. Existing resources can be utilized by marking, maybe by current savings, or by shifting the current locations, whatever you are having. Then you try to enhance or increase generating your money by changing the job, or by improving your way of getting the money in a proper manner, or taking additional hours of working, or investing in some savings accounts, or some mutual funds, etc., which can fetch you more interest. Such aspects can be done. Then, after this, you have to evaluate the alternative set. Alternative set is, as we have thought of, maybe going for a better work which gives you the better salary option, or maybe investing in some options which can get you more amount of returns. That can be also an alternative, whatever it is. So, out of more than two alternatives, whatever you have identified, in that you have to understand what suits you people to invest for. Okay, this is can be considered based on your personal life situations, based on your personal values, and also your current economic considerations. And you have to weigh down the pros and cons of opting for different types of investment criteria. After that only you can think of opting for any type of financial instruments in which you are supposed to invest. Then the fifth one is creating and implementing your financial action plan. That is, here, if you have thought of getting more money by changing your jobs, so that your salary will increase, your increments will be increased, and you're going to get more amount of incentives, whatever it is, that can be done. Or in case you want to invest in any types of invest instruments which fetch you more number of rate of returns, or then you can opt for such also. So these can be by setting a realistic goals. Setting realistic goals is that, say for example, if a person is earning 20,000 per month, if he wants to set his realistic financial goal, he can opt for a realistic one, maybe around rather than earning 20,000 per month, maybe for 25,000 in the next month. But if you are earning 20,000 now, and if you think of getting 1 lakh in the immediate next month, that is unrealistic. That is unachievable. So that should not be there. So whatever the goal you're going to set, that should be a realistic and attainable goal. The last stage is that review and revise the financial plan. So first, once as you have set your financial plan, you have to revise it. So whether whatever the alternative you have opted for is good for you, whether it is achievable for you, can it really change the situations, whatever you are facing, the financial crisis in your life, all such things need to be analyzed. You have to evaluate this from time to time. Maybe after investing in one aspect, you can evaluate it by its performance in another 1 year, or in another 6 months, whatever it is. Whether you have improved your financial status or not, that can be identified. That is what the review and revise financial plan says. Now, after this, you have to go for a client interaction. See, client interaction is that where you are going to meet with a financial advisor. So financial advisors are generally the representatives of various financial organizations. They give knowledge for the clients based on your short-term and long-term personal financial goals. And whichever the aspects, or whichever the instruments which are having the high risk, low risk, or moderate risk, all such things can be explained by these financial advisors. They usually have an interaction with the client and help the clients to opt for different saving options. They create proper financial strategies for the clients, negotiate with their products, supply them, they with possible rates also give the modified. So invested utility interaction prices. These things generally help us to overcome any type of risk associated with the financial investments. So they also have a plan for us based on which we can have short term or long term investment criteria we can select. Now, you have to understand about the time value of money. Now, what is this time value or what is the meaning of the term time value of money? Let us understand this. It indicates that time has got a value. That is, the rupee value keeps on changing over a period of time. That you are understood. So every day in the newspapers and all, you might have seen today's value for rupee in terms of international standards. Maybe 70,000 per dollar, whatever it is, it keeps on changing. So these aspects are because of the changes in the risk factor associated with the business world. The purchasing power of a rupee keeps on changing. Sometimes it goes on decreasing, sometimes but it never remains constant. This is what the meaning of term time value of money states you. The important reasons for this, with the changes in the value of money, the investors will be at risk. Maybe it is because of the even in the with the reason of inflation also, or preferences for present consumption and satisfaction also influenced by this. See, the risk factor is that most of the time people may not be interested or may not be willing to take up the risk associated with the financial matters. That is why it gives more weightage to the present worth of the money. The risk is attached with the receipt of cash because of the business risk, as I mentioned earlier. Inflation implies that the purchasing power of a rupee will decline, maybe in future also. So this is how it states. And the preferences for present consumption and satisfaction is important for individual even in the future also. So that is why the present value or time value of money should be known to the individuals. There are different areas of time value of money where it is applicable that can be considered as in terms of capital budgeting, loan amortization, stocks and bond valuations, then forecasting the investment decisions, future and present value of money, etc. There are various techniques from which we can understand the time value of money. Mainly, it can be calculated by the two ways. One is compounding technique and the second one is known as the present value technique. Now let us understand these methods. See, compounding technique is that compound value concept used to you find out the future value of the present money. So this is somewhat same as the concept of compound interest, wherein the remaining period. So thus, the accumulated amount or the principal amount plus the interest at all the end of the period become the principal amount for calculating the interest of the next period. So compounding technique is to find out the future value of the present worth of money, which can be explained in different references. Like one is the future value of a single present cash flow. Second one is through the future value of annuity or a series of cash flows. Third one is the future value of multiple cash flows. Now let us understand the first one, the future value of a single present cash flows. So future value of a single present cash flow can be considered by the following example. Like in case of annual compounding, that is for 1 year. Annual is 1 year. Annual compounding, the future value is equal to PV into 1 plus R to the power of N. Or it can be like if future value is equal to the present value multiplied by compound value factor into rate of interest and the number of years. Now, Look into the page number 8. There is one example of a problem. So here in the problem one they have given, calculate the future value of a sum of rupees 2000 if it is invested at 8% interest rate in 1 year. Now we can understand what is given here. The future value is that you are supposed to calculate. The present value is 2000. The rate of interest is 8%, or you can consider it as 0.08. And the time period annuity is 1. So with the formula, you can put all these value. FV is equal to PV into 1 plus R to the power of n. Then FV is equal to, the PV is 2000, that is given there. 1 plus interest rate is 8%, that is 0.08, and the number of years is n. So while calculating all this, you will get FV as 2080. So that comes to the future value of 2000 will be 2080 rupees. Now compounding second problem. Look into this. Mr. Arun makes a deposit of rupees 10,000 in a bank which pays 8% interest compounded annually for 8 years. You are required to find out the amount to be received by him after 8 years. So now what is given here? PV is given, that is 10,000. Rate of interest is 8% and the number of years is 8 years. You have to calculate the future value of money. So simplify with the formula, that is 10,000 multiplied by 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 8. This 8 here indicates the number of years. So it will come up to 18,509 rupees. Okay, let us look into the second one here. In case of multiple compounding period or intra-compounding. So in the first case, you have calculated for 1, and in the second case, we'll try for multiple compounding. So in the multiple compounding period, if the compounding period varies, interest earned will also vary. That is, if the interest is compounded semi-annually, quarterly or monthly, such future value is calculated by using the following formula. That formula is F is equal to PV into 1 plus I by M to the power of M and N. So here, FV is, you are aware, the future value. PV is the present value of the money. I is the rate of interest. M is the number of times interest is compounded in a year, whether it is semi-annually, quarterly or monthly, that is. And N is number of years. So compound value factor can be identified in this case with that given formula. So look into the problem 3, page number 9. So calculate the future value of sum of 2000 if it is invested for a year with compounding period of semi-annually at 10%. Now here the given is present value 2000, I is 10%. 10% can be considered as 0.1 and M is 2 because here it is semi-annually, that is mentioned. Semi is half, so it is 2. N is 1, number of years. So again, you can simplify with the given formula. That comes to 2206. Okay, the future value will be 2205. It can be compounded, we'll get this. Now look into the problem 4. National Bank Limited pays 10% interest compounded half yearly. If rupees 1 lakh is deposited initially, how much it shall grow at the end of 5 years, at the 5th year. So here what is given, kindly note down this. So present value is rupees 1 lakh, interest rate is 10% and M is 2 because it is half yearly. Half yearly is semi only. Then at the end of 5th year they have given, so it is N is equal to 5. So again use the formula here, F is equal to PV 1 plus I by M to the power of Mn. If you calculate this, it will come to 1,62,900 rupees. So this is the future value of 1 lakh, whatever you're going to invest. That shows that if you invest 1 lakh rupees today on these criteria, at the end of fifth year, your 1 lakh will be 1,62,900. That is how we are going to invest in any kinds of instruments, whether it is a bank, mutual fund, whatever it is. This is how it is calculated. Now, the future value of annuity of cash flows or series of equal cash flows. Now, let us understand series. Now, you have to give importance for this. It is series of annual cash flows they have given. It shows even cash flows of a certain period of time is known as annuity. In other words, annuity is a fixed payment or receipt each year for a specified number of years. So this is what it gives. So future value of annuity can be calculated by using the annuity table as well as by adopting the formula. So with this formula, you have to find out even for the annuity table values. So where future value of annuity is equal to R multiplied by 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 plus 1 plus I to the power of n minus 2. It goes on. Here it have given till 4 and plus that can be continued. So R indicates the even cash flows, I indicates the rate of interest, N indicates the number of years. The CVFA stands for compound value factor of an annuity period. Let us understand this by calculating the problem. Fifth one, calculate the future value of annuity of 4,000 deposited at the end of each year at 6% for a period of 5 years. Now, what is given? The money is given here. R is given. It is 4,000. And the rate of interest is 6%. And the time period is 5 years. So, here the formula is FVA is equal to R into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1. That goes up to, you have to add all this, R to the power R into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 5. Because the number of year they have mentioned here is 5. So that can be taken up to 5 years. With simplification of all these values, you will get 22,546. So, and the compound value of annuity of 1 rupee in the line of 5 years, it is at the rate of 6%. So, it is going to indicate you 22,546.4. Now, look into the sixth problem over there. Mr. Kumar deposits rupees of 6,000 at the end of every year for 5 years. And the deposit earns compound interest at 12% per annum. Determine how much money he will have at the end of 5 years. Here, the rate, the money is given R, that is 6,000. Rate of interest is 12% and N is 5 years again here. So that is why FVA is equal to R into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1 plus R into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 2 plus R into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 3 plus R into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 4 plus R into 1 plus I to the power of n minus 5. Because here we are going to end n minus 5. It is 5 years. Now look into this. 6,000 R is given 1 plus 12% of interest, that is 0.12 to the power of 5 minus 1 for the first year. 5 minus 2 is for second year. Similarly, 5 minus 5 for the fifth year. If you simplify all these things, it come to this value is 38,114.4. So look into the compound value of annuity table of 1 rupee also at 12% rate. So then future value, it comes to 38.118. So future value cash flows. So far we have studied for cash flows. So in the previous problem we had 6,000. That is even cash flow. Now we will look into the value value for uneven cash flows. So as the future value of annual deposit made at a particular rate of interest for a definite period of time calculated. We can also identify or calculate the future value of uneven cash flows made over a period of time at particular rate of interest by using the following formula. That is here FVUECF is equal to R1 multiplied by 1 plus I to the power of n minus 1. So it goes on for number of years. That is why it is indefinite here. So future value of uneven cash flows R2, R3, R4 shows uneven cash flows. The rate of interest, the number of years. You can identify, calculate with the help of this problem number 7 here. Let us calculate the future value of the following cash flows if it is invested at 8% rate of interest per annum. Now, in first column, they have given at the end of each year. First year, second year, third, fourth and fifth year. Amount deposited. In the first year, it is 500. Second year, it is 1,000. Third year, it is 1,500. Fourth year, 2,000. And the fifth year, it is 2,500. Now, we have to calculate with the help of the same formula here. So, we have to calculate the future value of uneven cash flows in this problem, where is R1, R2, R3, R4 and R5 respectively 500, 1,000, 1,500, 2,000 and 2,500. The rate of interest is 8%, that is 0.08 you can, and the number of years is 5 years. Now apply this formula there, then simplify. You will get the future value equal to 8,350. Okay. So we have another method, the present value discounting technique. So this is a reverse compounding technique. It is also known as the discounting technique. As there are future value sums invested now, calculate as per the compounding techniques. There are also the value of the cash flow scheduled to occur in future. So hence, this method helps find out the present value of the future money. Discounting technique is to find out the present value that can be explained in of the present value of a single cash flow, present value of annuity or series of even cash flows, and also the present value of uneven future cash flows. We'll look into this now. Now let us understand the one, present value of single cash flows. So value of a single flow can be computed with the help of formula. Formula is given here. Present value is equal to P1FE divided by R to the power n, or it can be like this also, FV by PF into Rn, where you can understand PV is the present value, FV or P1 is the future value, R is the discounted, N is the number of years, PVF stands for present value factor. Similarly, you can have this problem, that is a problem statement. Problem is 8th problem. Find out the present value of rupees 3,000 received at the end of the year. If the discount rate is 9% per annum, where you can find, that is the present value you have to identify. Future value is 3,000. Rate of interest is 9% and N stands for the number of years. Put the formula and give the status, whatever the amount they have given. That is here, P1 or FP is 3,000 divided by 1 plus rate of interest is 0.9, annuity, so that is why it is 1 over there. 3000 divided by 1.09, that comes to 2751. So the present value of 1 rupee table in the timeline of 1 year at 9% is 0.917. So based on this, you have to multiply 0.917 into 3000, you will get 2751. That is the present value of future money, that is 3000. Now, the second one. In case of multiple compounding period or intra-compounding, we'll understand this multiple level now. So to find out the present value of this, we have a formula P1 or FV divided by 1 plus R by M multiplied by, to the power of Mn, or PV is equal to FV into present value factor R by M multiplied by N into N. So let us find out the present into the problem 9. Find out the present value of rupees 10,000 receivable after 3 years at the rate of 12% interest. Now calculate it semi-annually. Semi-annually is you have to divide it by 2. So you have to find out the present value, then future value they have given, it is 10,000, rate of interest is 12%, M is 2 because it is semi-annually, and N is equal to 3, that is number of years. Put the formula, then you simplify with the given values. Here it is 10,000 divided by 1 plus 0.12 by 2 multiplied by 2 into 3. So it gives you the value of 10,000 divided by 1.06 to the power of 6. So that comes around 10,000 divided by 1.419. That is 7047.22. Our present value will be 7,050, the nearest rounding option. So present value of annuity with a series of equal or even future cash flows. Let us understand with even cash flows now. If the investors expect uniform cash flow over a period of time at a definite discount rate, such cash flows present value, which is always be less. So when compared to the future flows, so it can be determined by using the following formula, that is PVA is equal to P1 1 plus R to the power of N 1 plus P1 divided by 1 plus R to the power of 2. So it goes on for a number of period, whatever they have given. So present value can be calculated by present value annuity is equal to annuity or future value multiplied by PVFA into R and N. So where PVA stands for present value of annuity cash flows, P1 or A or FV stands for uniform series of payments, because we are calculating for uniform cash flows. Now R is the discount rate or the rate of interest. N stands for the number of years. PVFA stands for present value factor annuity. Now let us calculate the similar problem here. Problem number 10. Calculate the present value of annuity receipt of rupees 16,000 received after 5 years at the rate of 8% discount rate. What is given here is P1 or A or FV, that is 16,000 present value of annuity receipt. Now rate of interest is 8%. The number of years given time period is 5 years. So PVA is equal to P1 divided by 1 plus R to the power of 1 plus, it goes on. Again P1 is common, even cash flow, that is why it is 16,000. Then divided by 1 plus R to the power of 2 for the second year, 3 for third year, 4 for fourth year, and fifth for 5 years, since they have mentioned time period of 5 years. Now simplify for all this. So where you have 16,000 divided by 1.0 to the power of 1, you will have 14,815. Then 16,000 divided by 1.17, this is to the power of 2 for the second year. So it comes around 13,675. Then 16,000 divided by 1.08 to the power of 3, it is 1.26. That is why you will get 12,698. And for the fourth year, it is 16,000 divided by 1.36, which has come out of 1.08 to the power of 4. So you will get 11,765. And 16,000 divided by 1.47, it is from 1.08 to the power of 5. You will get 10,884. Now, continue this problem. So, you will get the PBA value of 63,837, or it will be like this, 63,888, because the present value cash flows you have to identify. If this is 8% on 5 years, that you have to take, it is 993 multiplied by 16,000, you will get 63,888. Now, this we calculated for even cash flows. Now, let us check in with another concept, that is uneven cash flows, as we worked out for the previous problems. So, present value of uneven future cash flows. If the investor expects uneven cash flows over a period of time at a definite discount rate, such cash flows present value will be always less when compared to the future flows. It can be determined by using the given formula, that is PVUECF, present value uneven cash flows, is equal to P1 by 1 plus r to the power of 1, P2 by 1 plus r to the power of 2, plus P3 by 1 plus r to the power of 3. So it goes on for n number of years, whatever it is given. Then we'll understand with working out with a problem here. Page number 18, problem number 11. Let us understand this. Calculate the present value of the following cash flows if it is invested at 8% per annum. So 5 years they have given. At the end of each year, the amount deposited is given in the right side column. And the first year amount deposited is 500. In the second year it is 1,000. Third year it is 1,500. Fourth year it is 2,000. And in the fifth year it is 2,500. Now let us find out the solution. That here you have to identify the present value of uneven cash flows. So this according to the investments P1, P2, P3, P4 and P5, which is varying 500 to 2,500. Rate of interest is 8%. Number of years they have given, it is 5 years. So we will simplify with the given formula. You will have 500 divided by 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 1 plus 1000 divided by 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 2 plus 1500 divided by 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 3 plus 2000 divided by 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 4, 2500 divided by 1 plus 0.08 to the power of 5. You have to simplify all these now. In each case, you have to identify, that is, there is uneven cash flows, 500 to 2,500. Then the rate of interest by to the power of 1, 2, 3, it goes on varying. And finally, with simplification, you will get this much of amount, like 462.96 plus 854.70, 1,190.48, 1,470.59, then 1,700.68. You have to sum up all these things. You will come up to 5,679.41. Now, you can understand this here. What we have mentioned in the earlier case, in cases if you want to know the cash flows of present value we, over a period of time period of discount rate and uneven cash flows, it is always it will be less than whatever you have invested. So that is why uh, total whatever you have invested here, you will get 5,679.41. So this is about calculating the interest rates or how we are going to get the compound interest for whatever money we have invested in various instruments. Each kind can be asked for, maybe one problem can be asked for 5 to 10 marks. You have to know the formula and each item what it stands for, how to calculate for even cash flows, how to calculate for uneven cash flows, all such things, very simple things that you can understand. Now let us move on to the next terminology, that is personal financial statement. It is in the page number 19. Now again there is a similar statement given by Robert T. Kiyosaki. He said that the rich focus on their asset column while everyone else focus on their income statements. Now what does it mean? Let us understand. What do you mean by the term financial statement? See, a personal financial statement usually represent the documents which outline an individual's financial condition, or we can say that document which identifies, gives an individual's financial position at a given point of time is known as his financial statements. It generally used to demonstrate an individual's credit worthiness or the financial stability what an individual is have, or we can say that it is a indicator of his financial status. It includes general information about the individual like his name, address, etc., along with whatever the assets he is having and the liabilities. So personal financial statements helps us to track our financial goals and what we are going to consider in future, or what are the things to be done to maximize our wealth that can be identified through this personal financial statements. The objectives of personal financial statement helps us to track the personal expenses and income in order to have our financial status improved condition. Secondly, it helps us to report the current financial status or current position of an individual, helps us to measure towards the financial goals or to maintain information on financial activities, and it also helps us to prepare the tax forms by applying for credit, etc. So it gives about the data what we can have. There are two types of financial statements. This you can get for 10 marks in your examination, the financial statements. Mainly, there are two types of personal financial statements, as you people are aware, for industries also. This is something concerned with the personal financial aspects. One is income statement and the second one is known as a balance sheet. Now, what are these and what are the contents of these, how to manage this, we'll understand. So, income statement. Income statement is a blueprint of an individual's, which usually shows the income and expenses of an individual over a period of time. So income is usually, as people are aware, it is what is earned by an individual, maybe in terms of wages and salary, or any types of interest and dividends is going to get out of his deposits, etc. So expenses are the cost of anything, whatever the individual has consumed in the course of his daily life. The cost of sustaining life while earning something, what we are going to spend, all such things are considered for our expenses. There is a format given for the form income statement in the page number 20. You can go through that. First, to calculate the net worthness of an individual, you have to understand the basic formula. This is nothing but the net income of an individual is equal to revenue minus expenses. Okay, you have to calculate the net worthiness of an individual by subtracting the expenses from his revenues. Now look into this format. of personal income statement, you will find the particulars in the left hand side, and in the right hand side, the amount in rupees. There are two columns given. One is for the current year, and the second one is for future year. You can identify the difference, whatever an individual has done. Look at the income column here. Maybe the income from the occupation, whatever the job an individual is getting, or any types of profits, the commission, the fees he is going to get for previous year as well as current year can be uh, recorded here. Then interest on savings can be recorded. Interest on dividends record in the particular column given, whether it is of previous year or present year. Then current prices or money, gift or prices, money, then tax reimbursements for both current year and previous year. Then in cases if the individual is having any other income, whether maybe it is from the current year or the previous year. So now after that, you have to take a total of income. That is total of income is A. Expenses column. Expenses can be your individual expenses, any type of expenses like contribution towards the household expenses, or flexible expenses will also be there, like if you people travel outside or purchase some gifts to go on a holiday, or any types of social event you happen to attend. All such expenses you can include by current year and previous year. Then sometimes you will have medical expenses, which can be considered as the emergency expenses. And important payments or tax insurance are the low installments, whatever we are going to save. Even for that, we are going to pay a loss, so that it can be recorded. Then emergency credit card payments and other things, you can record that also. And in case of incurring any other expenses, record whether it is for current year or previous year based on that. Now you have to have a total of all these expenses. That is, expenses can be total sum up, that you can understand by having a total of current years and previous years expenses. Now, how to calculate the net income for the individual? Net income for the individual will be revenue minus expenses. That is, from the total worth of assets, whatever you are having, you have to minus the expenses. That shows the your credit worthiness. So what is the amount of money remaining in you? That is your credit worthiness. Now, balance sheet statement we'll understand. This is given in the page number 21. So balance sheet indicates the financial condition again here. This indicates whatever an individual have or owning it at a point of time, and it represents the lists of assets and liabilities by the individual. So format of the personal balance sheet, you can have it like this. In the liability side, you will have different options, and amount given for the same can be mentioned in the next column. Then in the right side, you have your assets and the amount of that particular assets. Borrowings are the liabilities an individual can have. Then home loans, which you need to pay, they come under your liabilities. Education loans we need to pay, they come under liabilities. Then any types of personal loan taken by an individual, again they are the liabilities. Vehicle loan is a liability. Business loans are liabilities. Credit card debts, what you are supposed to pay. Any other bills and credits, and if any other expenses other than the mentioned items can be mentioned over here, and total of that can be done. Then what are the components of assets for an individual? They include the total savings of an account, then any type of investments in the real estate or gold or silver, land, whatever it is. Then investments made in the different types of instruments like national savings scheme, or fixed deposits, maybe in recurring deposits, mutual funds, bonds, debentures, shares, whatever, all these comes. Then investment in the insurance, maybe of life insurance or the health insurance, or having a retirement plans, pension plans, your PPF, or any other types of investment made by the individual. So all these come under the asset part of an individual's life. So if these two are balanced, we can say that an individual is having a better financial plan. So that is about the financial planning, personal financial planning, or how to carry out this. Now let's just move on to the next one, that is cash flow management. So cash flow management indicates as a foundation for financial stability or financial independence of an individual. It shows that how an individual is earning and how he is handling the money for whatever the pattern of uh, expenses an individual is having. So there are different types of patterns. How a poor person or a middle class person and the rich person will have as far as the cash flows are considered. Normally, in the poor individuals, the person earns his income from his job, or maybe he pays it for his rent, his food, transportations, clothes, etc., and also other utility bills. The poor person don't buy any assets which generate income for him in the long run. And poor person knows how to work hard, but he doesn't know how to safeguard his money. Secondly, if you think of a middle class person, every middle class person, again, they are dependent on their income from their salary or from their job. And he tries to buy only the liabilities, thinking that his assets, like he want to purchase a car, he want to have mortgage, he want the school loans, the credit cards, debit cards, etc. Again, these will become the liabilities for him. Unlike the poor person, just the middle class person also doesn't know how to handle or how to manage the money, because even these people lack in financial skills. And the last one is the cash flow pattern of a rich class person. Here, the rich class person prefers to invest his savings in the real estate, stocks, shares, debentures, then intellectual property lies, and other liabilities like mortgages and credit cards, etc. For him, the investments on rental income, royalty, dividend, etc., they enhance his financial status. They bring earnings for the person. So that is how he can be said that he is having a financial knowledge. Debt manage impacts the stress level in the individual and the general well-being of the individual. That is, if you have credits or loans from different persons and you are supposed to pay the interest rate for them, than the money whatever you have taken from them, that enhances your risk level. So that is why prioritizing the payoffs of the debts is very important, especially when they are having high rate of interest. Then refinancing your home loans, addressing the frequency of your payments, whatever you're making, using the debts for wealth accumulation, such as borrowing and the purchase shares, identifying the tax efficiencies and more effective ways of structuring the debts is very much important for any individual. So, to overcome this debt status, an individual is essentially should have the planning for financial. So that planning to financial education can be done in the following ways. Financial education is a process by which financial consumers, financial consumers are nothing but the investors, they can understanding of financial products. Financial products, the components and the risk associated with each type of the instrument, what you are going to consider, all such can be taught, which help you people to understand and they develop the skills and the confidence to make more awareness on the investment criteria. So this helps us to have a better financial well-being. The financial literacy can also be defined as a combination of financial awareness, the knowledge and the skills, attitude and the behavior which is necessary for an individual to make proper decision on financial investments. So this can be done by three patterns. One is having a process of financial education, second, achieving the financial literacy, and third, which helps us to manage our financial well-being. So this can be done. And to strengthen the financial inclusion in the countries, one of the important development agenda of both the central and state government is to impart the financial sector regulators. Financial sector regulators, we have the Reserve Bank of India, Securities Exchange Board of India, then we have regulatory authorities for insurance. All such things help us to overcome the risk associated with whatever the investment we are making. There are various sections of populations where you need to develop the skills on uh, having a financial investment pattern. So for this purpose, we have National Strategy for Financial Education, which was suggested in 2020-2025, a multi-stakeholder led approach for creating financial awareness and making empowered India with the financial knowledge. So major objectives of this program is that to inculcate the financial literacy among the citizens. They try to encourage the active saving behavior among the public. They want to encourage participation of financial markets to meet the financial goals of individuals, develop credit discipline to improve the usage of digital financial in the general public with safe manner, and they want to create an awareness in managing the financial risk. They help in planning for old age retirement related aspects and creating knowledge about the rights and duties and the avenues available for individual for any types of issues they come across in the investment pattern, and to improve the research and evaluation methods to assess the programs in financial education. So these are the best objectives, or the important objectives of NSFE scheme. Now, in order to achieve the earlier mentioned objectives, the NSFE has documented certain C's. That is, they have identified important 5 C's. They concentrate the content, capacity, community, communication, and collaboration. So content includes it is the building up of the knowledge, creating curriculum or a syllabus. What can be taught to the school students? What can be taught to the college children, the teachers, young adults, or housewives, or any entrepreneur who want to invest money? Such details are given in the content column or content related aspects. The capacity indicates that the capacity of various intermediaries which are involved in giving the financial knowledge, which shows the code of conduct. Then community, it helps us to community-led approaches by without any type of discrimination. Then communication, it is the use of technology or mass media to impart whatever the knowledge they are supposed to spread relating to the financial related knowledge. So maybe by spreading the financial literacy through advertisements, by conducting uh, conferences, webinars, seminars, then by projecting the details of these on the billboards in the bus stands, railway stations, and through advertisements, whatever. Such things are through the communication process. And the collaboration indicates preparation of information dashboards. So this you can come across in various professional and vocational courses which are undertaken by the Ministry of Skill Development of Entrepreneurs. Then even in the National Skill Development Missions, which impart education like through B.Ed and M.Ed courses. In all such various programs, they try to streamline the educational related aspects. So that is, these things are done by our National Strategy for Financial Education. So these are certain prominent steps in bringing up personal financial planning knowledge in the individuals. So with this, I have completed your first unit of block 1. So you can sum up with this. So this has provided us the knowledge of the meaning of personal financial planning. Then what is the time value, meaning of money, how to manage our cash flows, and how to have a rapport with the financial advisory body, and how to make personal financial planning. That is by showing the two types of statements. One is income and expenses statement or a personal statement, what we call it as personal income statement, and the another one is having the knowledge of personal balance sheet. And also we have understood the process of financial uh, personal financial management. That is by identifying our present status and how to go about with our different aspects, how to evaluate where to invest, all such things. Now let us move on to the actual financial plan. So here we will be able to understand the meaning of informal budgets and how to prepare this, how to go for financial plans, what is the role of financial plans, all these things. So the second lesson or the second unit helps us to identify how to set our short or long-term goals. So it is simple like setting goals is where we want to reach. In case of financial planning, it's the way how you're going to set your financial aspects. I mean, what is your current income, how you want to save and utilize it for the systematic process can be understood in this lesson. So goal setting, uh, it starts with ascertaining what we are going to assess, whether it is for the short-term loan or for the long-term plan. Short-term loans can be considered as maybe planning for a trip or maybe using our money for purchasing a few furniture or purchasing some groceries, whatever like that. Or long-term investments include purchasing of houses, purchasing of many type of insurances for the benefit of children's education or construction of houses, planning for funds, etc. Maybe construction of industries, wall, etc. So financial goals, again, these things need to be in the form of SMART goals, that is specific, then measurable, attain, then realistic, and also time. That you have to keep in mind. So financial goals must be in the sense system. Based on your income, you have to assess what you want to achieve in future. Second, financial goals should be start specific, measurable. Measurable terms in the plan or the time period what you want to. And time period refers to the measuring progress in 3 months, 4 months, 6 months, or 1 year or 2 years, whatever that is concerned with that. And the financial goals should indicate the type of action what you're going to consider to achieve whatever the goal you have set. Now let us understand how individuals can set their financial goals. In the page number 31, in the table they have given the life situation of different individuals and what can they plan for. This you can get in your examination for 10 to 15 marks. Suppose if the investor is a single young adult, then for single young adult, what is important is obtaining their career. So they can invest their money for obtaining their career, to become financially independent, to get the insurance plan, then to develop saving plans, and also to manage carefully their credit. If there is a couple without children, then they can create efficient financial record for keeping system, then obtaining adequate health and life insurance policies, implement in the budget, manage your use of credit cards, and develop savings and investment programs that can be done. Then if there is couple with young children, there is need to purchase a house, obtaining adequate health and life insurance policies, then you need to keep the fund for your children's education. That is nothing but start a college fund, then make a will and name for and provide for your children's fund. In cases if there is single parent with children, they need to obtain adequate health and life insurance and disability insurance also. Make a will and name a guardian for your children and establish some emergency funds. In cases if it is a old age single adult, contribution to a tax deferred retirement plan is necessary. Evaluate and select appropriate investment scheme, accumulate an emergency funds, review will and the estate plans. In case of older couple without any children, they have to plan for their retirement, housing, then living expenses, then they have to obtain health insurance for retirement, and also they will have to review the estate their plans. There are different types of investing in all these things. First thing, we have to prepare an informal budget. So informal budget can be like it helps us to identify how our saving problem should go on. The main purpose of preparing a budget is that to live with whatever the income we are having. Firstly, we have to think of the income earning, then spend our money in a wise manner so that you can reach our financial goals. So prepare the finance even for the emergency period and to develop a wise financial management habits. So we can identify certain general characteristics of a good budget planning. One is it should be well planned, realistic in nature, and flexible also, and it should be clearly communicated. Now, well planned in the sense we should plan according to whatever the earnings we are having, and based on that, how much we are going to spend. A realistic is that all these things can be done only if you are having more amount of income, but not with a minimum amount of income. So this is how your goal should be realistic in nature. Then flexible in cases of any type of emergencies or the situations what you want to face. Based on that, your planning should be flexible and clearly communicated. So others should be aware, whatever your family members the things should be aware about the written and oral documents relating to this. There are different steps which are involved in preparing and implementing the budget. From your examination review, you may get it for 10 marks. So one is setting the financial goal. Second one, estimating the income, budgeting and emergency, budgeting with the fixed expenses and variable expenses, recording and spending amounts, reviewing spending and saving patterns. All these are. The first one, setting a financial goal. As discussed earlier in the previous chapter also, you can set your short-term and long-term goals. Estimating income, that is what is the amount of money you are earning now and how much you want to increase it. That is estimation. Budgeting on emergency and fund savings in cases of any type of risk factors associated with maybe with the medical expenses or any type of emergency expenses what you want to uh, spend on, that can also be thought, maybe for the repair of articles, maybe for hospital expenses or mortgages or any type of unforeseen issues like maybe the losses due to the calamities. All such things can be considered as emergency funds and savings. Then budgeting for fixed expenses and variable expenses. These include how you are going to list out your expenses. Like there are certain aspects which you can't escape. You have to pay the rent of a house, you have to pay the electric bill, you have to pay the water bill. All such things will be the fixed expenses which need to be. But variable expenses sometimes like can be it can be maybe becoming a membership in some organization or going for a dining out or on recreation. This you can change the pattern. Such becomes your variable expenses. Then even the next stage is recording whatever you spend is a good habit. So you to in order to understand the pattern of your spending, you can record how much income you are earning, and based on this the daily amount spent that can be recorded. So that is known as recording the spending amount. It also helps you to have a proper financial planning. Reviewing the spending and saving patterns. So internal you have to review or go through your expenses and the amount of what you have earned. This gives you a knowledge how much you are spending and how much you are supposed to save. All such knowledges. So there are different opportunities given for the individuals to save. So that is known as investment opportunities. Individuals can save in various forms. This in the examination you can get for 10 marks. First one is investments in securities. These include the shares, investment in the shares. It is a company's capital which is divided into smaller number of units in a different number. That is known as the share. There are different types of share known as the equity shares and preference shares. Equity shares, commonly referred as a common stock, or the ordinary shares, which is a part of ownership, where each shareholder is a fractional owner of the company. Then preference share, they more commonly referred as a preferred stocks for preferred shareholders. They get priority during the time of dividend payment. Then there are bonds and debentures. Bonds are investment products which fall under the fixed income asset classes. They are instruments which allow government and corporations to raise money publicly and privately for funding various projects. Even we have the government securities. These are issued by the central governments and state governments and even by the semi-government organizations. They are also known as the gilt securities. So they provide guarantee for the security purchased by the individuals. Then we are also having money market securities. So these are the short-term security aspects. They like the treasury bills or the commercial papers, the certification of deposits, all such things. So treasury bill is short-term debt obligation, which is backed by a treasury department. The maturity period of this is 1 or less than 5 years. So since the treasury bills are backed by the government, they are the safe kind of avenues. Commercial papers, again, these are also short-term but unsecured debt obligations. They can be issued for a maturities between minimum of 7 days to maximum of 1 year. Certificate of deposit is also a marketable receipt funds. Uh, this can here it by issued by a bank or provide an interest rate premium for exchange of these customers. So it is a bearer document. I mean, ready to negotiable. Mutual funds are the investments where many investors pool their money to invest in securities like the stocks, bonds, and money market investments. And these funds are managed by investment professionals, and these are known as the portfolio managers. So there are also there various kinds of investments what we can do in the banks also. The bank deposits. So with the banking deposits are also commonly safe kind of keeping our money. So traditional banks offer the current accounts, saving accounts, fixed accounts, recurring accounts. There are different types. So even through the bank deposits resemble fixed income securities, they are negotiable instruments. So these are considered to be safe because they are regulated by the Reserve Bank of India. So investment in postal schemes. So apart from banks, we are also having post office investment schemes where individuals can money. The investment saving certificates, Kisan Vikas Patra, fixed monthly income statement, Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana, and other savings scheme. Fixed income investment can be opened at any post office branch and is by the government of India. It is a government of India initiative. It is bond that encourages subscribers mainly from small to middle income investors. So it earns a fixed interest rate and the interest rate is divided regularly by the government of India. Investment up to 1.5 lakhs can be done and that can earn a tax benefit under the section 80C of Income Tax Act. Kisan Vikas Patra is also a saving scheme available at Indian Post Office in the form of certificates. It is a fixed rate small savings scheme designed to double your investment after a predetermined time period. Its objective is to encourage long-term financial discipline in the people. So again here you can invest the amount in terms of rupees 1000 or in the multiples of 100. There is no maximum limit for this. In the post office monthly income scheme, it helps the investors to earn attractive returns on whatever investment they have made. It's a 5-year investment plan, so provides fixed monthly income. The scheme is available in all the post offices. Again here, the amount can be opened with a minimum of 1000 rupees or in the multiples of 100. An individual can invest maximum of 4.5 lakhs. Sukanya Samruddhi Yojana. This is a savings scheme launched back in the 2015 as per the Government of India initiative, which was associated with the Beti Bachao and Beti Padhao campaign. This scheme enables the parents or the guardians to open a saving account for the girl child who is below 10 years of age. So after the 18 years of age, the girl child only can manage with that account. It can be open in India in any post office in the name of the girl child. The minimum investment in the financial year is about rupees 250. Maximum can be 1.5 lakhs deposits. So there is no limit and the number of deposits either in a month or a financial year for this scheme. This can also be done. We also have various investment instruments relating to the insurance aspect. Mainly, these are associated with the life insurance policy. So, life insurance, actually, investment insurance makes us to overcome the risk associated with any type of health or the life like this. So, it helps to safeguard the insurer and the individuals who are dependent on that person. Life insurance is a contract between the insurer and the policyholder. A life insurance policy guarantees the insurer pays a sum of money to name the beneficiaries. When the insured policyholder dies, they exchange for the premium of paid by the policyholder during their lifetime. An endowment policy of life insurance covers the risk of a specified time period. So policy is a combination of insurance, investment, and a portion of premium gets invested in ensuring a certain return for every year. We have different types of policy like unit linked insurance plans. Here it is a market linked insurance plan. The mix of insurance along with the investment from unit link can be done. So here the investment towards life insurance rests into the fund and is based on the equity or debt or both matches with the long-term goals. There are also investments in terms of real estates and gold and antiques. In terms of real estate, the investment is investing in purchasing any property so that you can sold it, you can earn money from that. The other reason for a sole motto or to generate income. So it tries to borrow the capital appreciation and also income can be generated if you want to invest in this. Then gold is one old form of investment, steady increase in the price. So investment in the gold can be done through physical gold or maybe purchasing the gold bars, gold coins, gold ornaments, gold bonds, etc. Antiques. This antique is usually an historical. So it may be coin, maybe a sculpture, maybe the manuscript, whatever it is. Days, the owner of this antique needs to be registered and informed to the society concerned to that. So investors in antique be careful about this. But here the risk is very uncertain compared to the concept like where invest with the real estate. Where you can such things cannot happen antique. That is about financial aspects where you can invest. Now let us understand the concept of financial versus investments. So we have two types of investments we can come across the how we can invest while planning for the financial benefits. Mainly you can invest in two ways. One is on financial and the second one is on investments. So financial investments are concerned with the assets. So these are intangible in nature, which you cannot see or feel. But usually the physical presence of this is absent. But you can understand these in terms of documentations. Like, for example, you have mutual fund documentation, fixed deposit certificates, suppose certificates of any type of bonds, stocks, life insurance policies, money market policies, whatever. That is the financial investment criteria. The physical investment is concerned with our investment to purchase the assets, like maybe owning a building, ornaments, or maybe purchasing the metals, commodities, antique pieces, even the paintings. All such things are concerned with the physical investment. Now, let us understand the meaning of the term financial planner, their role, and also the different types of financial planners we come across. So, financial planner is a person who tries to use the financial planning process to enable the clients to achieve their financial goals. So he tries to inculcate the knowledge among the clients about the investment, where to invest, how much to invest. All such details or financial knowledge can be created by the financial planners to their clients. There are three types of financial planners. One is commission based financial planners, second one is fee based financial planners, and the third one is a combination of both. So commission based financial planners, for their financial plan on like normally they are considered the brokers or mutual funds advisors, insurance advisor, all these, they are compensated with the commission. Then fee based financial planners, they charge fees for making whatever the financial plan they are going to do for their clients, and also they charge commission. And there is combination of both, only the fee and the commission. So this is concerned with the individual who is obtaining both the fee and the commission for whatever the financial plan he has given for his client. Now, the role of financial planners. So, financial planners generally help their clients to manage their finance wisely. They give them advice to achieve their financial objectives. They analyze the financial status or the income, expenses, and liabilities possessed by their clients, then examine and suggest financial opportunities. They plan and budget for their clients, help their clients to implement their plans. They help their clients to make suitable plans for their financial management, maintain the updated knowledge and regulational practices and financial products offered to their clients. They help in setting up of retirement plans or beneficial plans for the individual based on their life positions, and they help the strategies of making them with the living lives and the power of attorney, life insurance related aspects. All such knowledge can be created by these financial planners to their respective clients. And financial planner can also advise you on financial consequences of your career changes, the compensation, what you're going to get, how to keep your employee track, what are the options you have after your retirement, or as an employee, what are the different options you can obtain from your employer. All such details you can get from the financial planners. So in the examination, the two types of investment, that is financial investment and physical investment, you can get for 5 marks. Then the role of financial planner also for 5 marks. So with this, I have completed the 2 units of your financial planning paper. Now we'll move on to the last one, that is savings plan. So in the first, we have learned what is the importance of financial planning or how to go about it, what is the process concerned with that. In the second, we learned how the financial planner is going to give us the advice on how to save our money or how to make use of effective use of money and all. And in the third unit, we can understand the different options available for us, or the different types of saving plans and how to set the goals. All such things can be understood in this. So saving money becomes one of the important or crucial factors for us, because life is always through the uncertainties. The risk associated with the management of money makes us to think of saving it for the future. So that is why with whatever amount of money we are having, it is also help us to, if we are capable of saving or back up some amount of money for future need, it is considered as a good practice. So importance of saving plans is that, firstly, they try to help us by offering peace of mind and stress free life. So if we are trying to save at least a small amount of money for the future risk, what we are thinking of, it is better for us. Secondly, it gives better future and fulfilling life, good lifestyle. It helps us for better opportunity to offer the quality of education for our children, helps us to be prepared for any types of emergency conditions, or any type of unfortunate event that happens in our life, or it helps us to achieve the short term as well as the long term goals. So these are the major importance of our financial plans. Now, setting the goals. We have also discussed this concept in the earlier chapters also. Setting financial goals may be of two types. One is of short-term life goal and the other one is for longer time period. Short-term life is for setting of financial goals for less than 1 year time period, where it is of 2 years or 3 years. So such a number of time or time value is of long-term goals. So financial planning help us to um, make proper plans for whatever income we are generating. So there are different aspects like how to save money for the future requirements. As we have learned, the short-term goals can be maybe a saving depository where we want to purchase a house, purchase a car, or going for a long holiday, such things. But long-term goals can be planning for our future, that is for our retirement life, for the case of education of our kids, or any kind of emergency in the life what we are going to face, a superannuation period revocation. So all such can be our lifetime benefits. Look into the example. If I want to save rupees 30,000 cash each month from whatever the salary I'm earning to buy a luxury car of rupees 15 lakhs by next year, this is a specific financial goal object, which is for a short-term period. So in cases, if you want to save your money for any types of long-term goal, that needs a long-term investment. So we have already discussed these things in the second unit. So let us understand about the different types of saving instruments available to us. One such instrument is the mutual fund. So this we have already discussed. Mutual funds are the financial intermediaries. They are mobilized money from the investors, particularly from the small investors, and channelize them into economy through the capital market route. So instead of making the direct purchase of share or debt security, investors can purchase those securities which are associated with the mutual funds. So these mutual funds uh, mutual fund help us to get the benefit in future. The individuals who give us the knowledge of investment in the mutual funds, all such the individuals are known as the portfolio managers. There are different types of mutual funds: equity mutual funds, debt mutual funds, and money market funds. Equity mutual funds primarily such mutual funds invest in the stocks, funds as well as. In equity mutual fund, one manager invests the large portion of the investment in equity or equity associated stocks. As per the SEBI, in equity mutual fund scheme, at least 65% of the assets needs to be invested in equity related investments. So in the equity mutual funds, it can be actively managed or passively managed. There are two criteria. Equity mutual fund schemes are also categorized on the basis of market capitalization. And on basis of market capitalization, we call it by the name large cap, mid cap, and small cap investments. Debt mutual funds, they invest, usually the investment is made primarily on the fixed income securities like the bonds, securities, treasury bills. On that, they are going to make investment. These are also carrying some of the specific type of risk known as interest rates risk and credit rate risk. Investors should study the schemes before opting for any investment in the mutual funds. Then we also have the money market funds. Money market fund is a kind of mutual fund that invest in highly liquid short-term investments. And these instruments like they include the cash equivalent securities, or high credit rating debt-based securities with a short-term maturity period. It is for this reason the money market mutual funds are considered as the safe for investors. Now, another one is known as the hybrid or equity debt mutual fund. So this term hybrid indicates a combination of mutual debt funds. What will you come across? Here, hybrid investment fund is that it is categorized by diversification among more asset classes, and these funds typically invest in a mix of stock and bonds. So hybrid funds offer investors a diversified portfolio. Bond is a long-term investment instrument, made by the investor, and however, this is loan made by the investor to a borrower, and the bond represents fund under which the borrower promises to pay interest. So the principal on specific dates and holders of the bonds, they are issued by many organizations. Like we have undertakings, the private companies, municipal bodies, etc. Generally, if the bonds are issued by the government, they do not have any risk associated with that. But bond issued by the public sector companies in India are generally secured. In cases private sector companies also issue the bonds. These are known as debentures. There are different characteristics of bonds over the face value, coupon value, coupon dates, and maturity date related. Face value implies the price of a single bond which is issued by the government. Coupon rate indicates the bond issuer will get on the face value of the bond, and the coupon dates indicates the which the bond issuer will make the interest of payments. That the date the date mature and the bond issuer will get the face value of the whatever the bond is issuing. There are different types of bonds known as secured bond and unsecured bonds, perpetual bonds and redeemable bonds, bonds, floating interest bonds, zero coupon bonds, deep discount bonds. See, the secured bonds and unsecured bonds. Secured bonds are class of assets. So that is why asset banking bond which helps in physical form of the property, machineries, plants, can be liquid in the form of stock. So in case of unsecured bonds, they are backed by, they are not backed by, but usually issued only by companies that do not have enough assets on them. Perpetual bonds and redeemable bonds are that they do not mature or never mature, called perpetual bonds. But in case of the console bonds, income security with the maturity date. Redeemable bonds are bonds which are redeemable after a specific time period. So their value is fixed by the issuer. Fixed interest rate bonds, they give you after the maturity time period, they perpetuate whatever the rate of interest they have dropped off. In case of interest rate bonds, the an investor wants to earn guaranteed regular income, they can go for specific period that can opt for fixed interest rate. But in case of the other one, the floating interest rate bonds, it indicates the fluctual rating of interest. We also have a zero coupon bond. It is known as the accrual bond. So it is a debt security that does not pay interest, but instead they trade a deep discount, rendering to a profit of maturity. Deep discount bonds are those bonds. It is also another form of zero bond. Here, the deep discount bond that sells at a significant lesser value than its par value. Apart from all these things, we are also having a savings account. Savings account scheme is a very familiar one, where we can open accounts in the banks and other financial institutions. We can keep our money securely. We can also withdraw the money when and where we are in need of. So it is a relatively kind of savings where we are having a very low risk aspects. We will get money also for transaction. That is why it is highly liquid in nature, and you can withdraw your money whenever you want. So it is for a short term. Then we also have a fixed rate of deposit. Product offered by the credit unions. They provide interest on premium rate and the customer agreeing to leave a lump sum permanent premium. So that is about the fixed rate of deposit. Now we have already discussed Pradhan Mantri Yojana. This is also the 1988 to encourage long-term savings. So a minimum investment amount of 1,000 and investment needs to be made in the multiples of 1,000. So the rate on this is 6. Post office monthly income is also available. What is monthly income streaming here? Not only in the bank services and post office services, we can account savings bank account, recurring bank services. For whatever money you are going to invest, you will earn the rate of interest. Suppose the account open the 1,000 rupees or 100. So accounts can be opened on an expiry period of 5 years. There is no provision of withdrawal after the expiry of 1 year or from the next year. That should be taken into consideration. Also having certain tax like equity in fund, which is primarily invested for the purpose of investment and save the taxes. So in case if the total income of up to 1 lakh, then we have tax benefit this according to section 80. So it can us there is no investment under this. The primitive is available to the investors through the systematic investment plan, what we commonly call as the SIP. Tax benefits are also given for this with the deduction up to 1,50,000 a year under the provision of Income Tax Act. We have National Pension System. System scheme each of the Government of India as a part of their social scheme. This provides all the sections of employees and the armed forces for the system. Now the people are encouraged to invest in that. It is government of India. Then it is open to all the citizens voluntary basis. In national scheme is also this is attracts the tax benefits under Income Tax Act. The major feature is that in case the various investment like equity, debt, and other things, generally it offers much higher returns. So risk assessment is that 75% in range for equity exposure. Then, if at all there is no amount of investment risk, but to make sure the market volatility, it increases the potentiality of in. So withdrawal not withdraw the entire amount. He can only withdraw 60% of the money and 40% needs to be there. Early withdrawal and exit rule is advisable to the investor 3 years as a pension and 3 years for certain purposes for building or construction, maybe buying of a house, things can be withdrawn about 25%. But this option is changed for scheme of fund managers. They can, if the investor is unhappy with whatever the performance of the fund is there, they can ask for their fund managers to invest in various other market related securities. So again here the tax benefit is given to the pension holders. We are also having the public provident fund scheme. So public provident companies investment plan for all the sectors of employees, the best suitable because investment friendly. So it is the best among the investment option for investors. So this option is ideal for risk appetite investors. So it is a scheme, provides traction and it is less. Any individual can take up And the major characteristics of that for a long period of then the principal amount of investment is rupees 500, maximum amount is 1.5 lakhs annually. Then it is long against investment. Then eligibility criteria for this, any person who wants to open an PPF should be the citizen. Even the minors can open the account and own in their name, but their parents need to operate the account. The non-Indians are not permitted to open the PPF account in India. This also gets the tax exemption. Apart from this, we are also having the fixed deposit accounts in the banks, or what we normally call as the term deposits. Uh, this is also one of the normally can be invested in the banks for a period of 5 years. After the maturity time, the interest we can get the amount of money whatever we have invested. Okay. So here the feature of this is that there will be guaranteed return what we are going to get, and usually the interest rate will be between 7 to 9%, and the term is mentioned to be about 7 days to maximum of 5 years. So sometimes it can be of 10 years also, and in very rare cases it can be for 20 years also. Apart from deposit insurance, invested in their the deposit after investing the money in the fixed plan, they are going to get the insurance benefit also. So again, tax deductions are going to be on the income tax. The this is usually advantage. Even the senior citizens are eligible to get the high rate of interest amounts. Apart from this, we are also an account known as the citizen savings. So this is specially meant for the senior citizens in India. It consists income to the senior citizens. I mean, individuals who are 60 years can opt for this. The investment is maximum is 15 lakhs, with a minimum amount of can also be considered. Senior citizens can invest in more than the amount whatever they want to receive the amount on their retirement. They can invest up to 15 lakhs on this. So it is also a reliable and safe investment. So any individual, any Indian senior citizen with the age of 60 years can opt for this scheme, maybe through registered banks or post offices across the India. So all the citizens will find it very easy to opt for. So it is simple and easy. We will get a high rate of returns, flexible amount also. Maybe a scheme for period of 5 years, period of 3 years can also be opted. Again, this scheme will get the tax benefit concessions. We also have Pradhan Mantri Vaya Vandana Yojana, and this is a retirement scheme. So pension scheme, which is available for senior citizens of India. This retirement scheme is launched on May 2017, which is operated and managed by the Life Insurance Corporation of India. Here, the scheme is called the purchase price. Once the money is invested in the scheme, investors will obtain the assured rate of return on whatever amount they have invested. The frequency can be monthly, quarterly, or even an annual basis. This is of the one of the best investment practices what senior citizens can opt for. So features again here, this fetches good rate of return. Then minimum amount need to be invested is 1.5 lakh, but maximum can be of 15 lakhs. A fixed pension can be obtained if the individuals are going to invest in this, as according to the guarantee 3 years from the date of opening an account, the investors are going to receive the money. So it also beneficial as it is, and it enables the easy withdrawal just by the procedure of withdrawal is also easy and convenient. And even the investor passes away in cases, since they are the senior citizens, that amount will be given to the nominees mentioned. This also have the tax benefit scheme. So there is also